Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for September 7th, 2022 from Ezekiel chapter 48. The Lord is there. This is the last chapter of the book of Ezekiel. It's a very challenging book as God is constantly calling out to his people. You need to remember that God sent his people Israel into exile because they rebelled against him. But yet there's hope, a hope to return. However, not everyone returns, as other parts of the Bible tell us why. The why? Why doesn't everyone want to return? Well, consider it this way. Many probably made a new life for themselves. And besides, who really wants to go back to a land that was completely devastated and you have to rebuild it from scratch? It's a lot of hard work. Well, there was one thing that should have especially motivated the believers to return to the promised land. And that comes from the last chapter, the last verse of the book of Ezekiel. From Ezekiel chapter 48, verse 35. The circumference of the city shall be 18,000 cubits, and the name of the city from that time on shall be, the Lord is there. The Lord is there. Believers want to gather and be with God. In today's world, we are also faced with a very similar type question and dilemma. Should we go to church? Why should we go to church? Picking up the last words of the book of Ezekiel, why? Because the Lord is there. Let's hear what Jesus has to say about this in Matthew chapter 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them. What a strong affirmation to continue to gather around God's word and sacraments. The author of the book of Hebrews also notes in Hebrews 10, verse 25, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. We don't know the details of the reaction of the exiles when they heard that they could return home. But we do know that not all of them did. So why did they stay? Again, we don't know all the reasons why, but a contemporary of Ezekiel, Jeremiah, may give us a little bit of a hint. From Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 17. At that time, Jerusalem shall be called the throne of the Lord, and all nations shall gather to it, to the presence of the Lord in Jerusalem, and they shall no more stubbornly follow their own evil heart. Jeremiah also notes that the people will gather in the presence of the Lord and that they will no more follow their own evil heart. So what was keeping the people from returning? You could say their own evil heart. Isaiah, also writing during this same time period, notes something similar in Isaiah chapter 55, verse 7. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. So, we are encouraged to return to the place where God promises to be. For the exiles, that would have been in Jerusalem, the temple, after it was being rebuilt. For us as Christians, we return to where God promises to be, in his word and sacraments. Join me again tomorrow as daily devotions continue, but this time with a little bit of an easier book. I will admit, Ezekiel was a bit challenging. But the next book we're going to be picking up is the Gospel of St. John. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.